Good morning. Today we're going to talk about all the different ways you use your imagination. So you think about playing Legos or building a fort or writing a story with characters, but you use your imagination all the time. When you go outside with your brothers and sisters or your friends and you come up with a new game, you're using your imagination, and your imagination is such a fabulous tool. So this is a story about an imaginary friend. I don't know if any of you have ever had an imaginary friend. I know I did when I was little. And in this book, it's the imaginary friend who's telling the story. So this book is called The Adventures of Beekle, the Unimaginary Friend. It's written and illustrated by Dan Santat. And so he did the writing and he did the illustrations. One thing that's really special about this book is if you see this medal right here, this medal is called the Caldecott Medal, and I think I've talked to you about that before, but they give an award every year for the best pictures, and it's called the Caldecott Medal. So this book won it a few years ago. Not only did it win it, it won the top award because it's got this gold seal. It's actually bronze, so that means it was supposed to have the very best illustrations that year. So if you see a book with that kind of medal on it, it's a book that you definitely want to check out and read. So this is The Adventures of Beekle, the Unimaginary Friend. And as I'm reading, think about the characters and think about the setting where the story takes place. The Adventures of Beekle, the Unimaginary Friend. He was born on an island far away where imaginary friends were created. Here they lived and played, each eagerly waiting to be imagined by a real child. The pictures in this book are really special, so make sure you're looking at the pictures. Every night he stood under the stars, hoping for his turn to be picked by a child and given a special name. He waited for many nights. But his turn never came. His mind filled with thoughts of all the amazing things that were keeping his friend from imagining him. So rather than waiting, he did the unimaginable. What do you think he's doing? He sailed through unknown waters and faced many new scary things. But thinking about his friend gave him the courage to journey on until he reached the real world. The real world was a strange place. No kids were eating cake. No one stopped to hear the music. And everyone needed nap time. So think about how the colors in this page appear in comparison to all the colors in his imaginary world. Then he finally saw something familiar. So he followed. What do you think he sees that he recognizes? He had a good feeling about this place. But he looked everywhere and he could not find his friend. So he has an idea of the imaginary friend he's looking for, of the real friend. He's the imaginary friend. He climbed to the top of a tree and looked out, wishing and hoping his friend would come. So here he is at the top of the tree, and he's hoping his friend's going to come find him. Do you think his friend's going to find him in that tree? But no one came. He thought about how far he'd come and how long he'd waited and felt very sad. Then he heard a noise below. Hello? And look at that. She's giving him some sort of drawing or letter. What do you think she's giving him? Look what she gave him. Look what she had imagined. Her face was friendly and familiar, and there was something about her that felt just right. At first, they weren't sure what to do. Neither of them had made a friend before, but after a little while, they realized they were perfect together. I'm Beekle. Hi, Beekle. Beekle and Alice had many new adventures. They shared their snacks. They told funny jokes. The world began to feel a little less strange. And together, they did the unimaginable. And that's the end. I want you to think about who the characters were. Think about the setting of that book. It was kind of an unusual setting. And what I want you to do is I want you to think of 3 ways you can use your imagination. It doesn't have to be to have an imaginary friend, but think of 3 ways you can use your imagination in games that you play every day. I hope you're getting a chance with all this time at home to use your imagination as you read books and as you play games. Have a great day.